I want to be honest about the kind of mother I was because this story doesn't make sense without that. I worked. I worked more than I should have, more than Marcus needed me to, and I told myself for years that providing was the same as being present. Sometimes it is, often it isn't. By the time Marcus was in high school, I understood that I'd missed a window somewhere. Not dramatically, no single moment I could point to, just a gradual drift that happens when two people are both too busy and too proud to say they're losing each other. So I showed up the way I knew how. I paid for things, his college apartment, the car after the old one died, and when he called 2 years ago, happy in a way I hadn't heard in a long time, to tell me about Kara and that they were thinking about a venue in the spring, I offered before he finished the sentence. The deposit was $4,200. I put it on my card without hesitating. That was before things shifted. The call came on a Tuesday morning. Marcus's voice had a particular quality I recognized, careful, pre-organized, the voice of someone who has rehearsed. He said Kara wanted something intimate. He said the guest list had gotten complicated. He said he hoped I'd understand, that they'd celebrate with me separately. Something nice. Just us, I said I understood. I thanked him for telling me. I sat in my car in the driveway for 20 minutes after we hung up. I didn't cry right away. I thought first, turned it over, looked at it from different angles the way I do with problems at work. The crying came eventually, shorter than I expected, and when it stopped, I felt something underneath it that wasn't grief exactly. It was the specific loneliness of being handled by someone who learned from watching you how to be efficient. He managed me the way I'd taught him to manage difficult conversations. I recognized every technique. I didn't call his aunt, who would have made it loud. I didn't reach out to Kara. I didn't post anything or text Marcus again or sit with a glass of wine, rehearsing things I wanted to say. I made dinner. I watched something forgettable on television. I slept 4 hours. The next day I went to work and did my job and drove home and stood in my kitchen wondering at what point I had become someone my son felt needed to be managed rather than talked to. I didn't have an answer. I'm still not sure I do. 2 days after the call, an unfamiliar number, a woman, professional and warm, from the venue. She was calling to confirm the payment schedule for the remaining balance, final installment due 6 weeks before the date. She asked if my card information was still current. She called me by name. She thanked me for my patience with their updated billing process. To the venue, I was the mother of the groom, the account holder, the signatory on the contract. The external world had not received the memo about my reassignment to the periphery. I confirmed my card was current. I thanked her. I hung up. Then I sat at my kitchen table and felt something I hadn't expected. The specific discomfort of holding something you didn't ask to hold. I had options. I hadn't wanted options. I'd wanted to be invited. But there they were, quiet and heavy, sitting across from me like an uninvited guest. I didn't want to use them as a weapon. That matters to me. I need it to matter to me. I called Marcus that evening. I didn't rehearse. I told him plainly that the venue had called me, that I was still the account holder, and that I needed to know what he wanted me to do. I said it without shaking. I said I wasn't calling to make things hard. I was calling because the situation had made itself impossible to ignore, and I thought he deserved to know. He was quiet for a long time. Not the managed quiet of the Tuesday call. Something different, younger. He said he didn't know I was still on the account. I said gently that there were probably a few things we hadn't been talking about. I don't know what the wedding will look like now. I don't know if Kara will ever sit across from me without something guarded in her expression. I don't know if Marcus and I will find our way back to something easier, or if easier was always an illusion we were both maintaining from opposite sides. What I know is that I told the truth without using what I had to hurt anyone. I know that I stopped being managed. Some days that feels like enough. Some days it just feels like where we have to start.